Welcome to the first episode of PanicRev Customs TV. I'm Paul Miller. Before we get started building anything today, I think I'll give you guys a rundown on the bike and what I've done so far. So it's a 1972 Yamaha XS650. I found the engine off of a guy just in the next town over. Built this chrome ollie chassis around it. It's a lot like the Mule Motorcycles chassis. I fell in love with those when I first saw them and briefly got in contact with Richard Pollock about them. He gave me a little bit of a rundown on them, and then I made my own. It's a little bit different. And then I built a chromoly trellis style swing arm. So did that. The suspension is off, the front forks are off of a 2008 CBR 600. The rear shock, which is a single-sided rear shock, is off of a 2008 R6. The triple trees I machined on manual machines just with a rotary table and stuff. The brakes, the front brake is off of a 2012 GSXR. And the rear master cylinder and rear caliper are off of a 2000 Ducati M750. The gas tank I made, it's got air intakes coming through the front and exit flanges out the rear. There's tubes that are going through the gas tank. Still holds 3.5 gallons, which I was pretty surprised taking away that much volume with the tubes and it having such a deep tunnel, but it worked out pretty good. And then the tracker seat, I actually started out with carving it out of fluorous foam and then transferring paper from the fluorous foam onto aluminum and then making the tracker seat. So that's what we've done so far, besides like little controls and stuff. Today the big thing that we're going to do is build the exhaust. So I already have the flanges, and from the cylinder head down to where the collector will be, it's going to be a 2-in-1 exhaust. So I have the 2 head pipes coming down to where the collector will attach onto. And the muffler I have basically all welded up, not all finished yet. So today's going to be getting the collector on, working our way back, making a hanger, getting everything all set up. So we'll get to that, and yeah, should be fun. So working on the header, when it was on the bike, I ended up welding just the center together to keep it all in one piece, and I cut these V's out of 16 gauge stainless. The collector I got when I ordered my cones from Cone Engineering, I got them to throw in 1.5 to 3/4 2-in-1 collector, and wasn't expecting it to be shaped like that, but we'll put those little V's in there. They've been welded in. Hopefully it mates up nice. Weld it in, see how it looks. And if I don't like it, I'll try to figure something else, but I'll get that welded in right now. Right, so got the collector all welded onto the header, fits in really good, really like it. Now I'm just going to run some straight pieces out back, and then we'll swing it up. Still have to make a slip fit for the slip-on muffler. And yeah, still got to make brackets for that. We'll keep going. So got the ends of the muffler pretty well all ground down, liking the way it's looking. Ran out of barrel sanders and some Scotch-Brite. So get some more of that. For the time being, I'm just going to work on making the mount for the muffler, and then we'll make mounts for the frame, and then make a hanger and get the muffler on there. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so I got the hanger made up for the muffler, 2 pieces of sheet metal bent, and then cut down, welded together on top, and then a hole through them all. So I'll get this welded onto the muffler. Okay, so I got the whole header all tacked up when it was on the bike, pulled it off. So ready to weld that. I've had the purge going for a few minutes now, so it should be pretty good to start welding. Got my slip fit for the muffler. Tried to use tubing expander and it didn't work at all. Actually broke the very first second I used it. So I was pretty sure that was going to happen. So I just used 1 3/4 coming out of the muffler, and then use the 1 7/8, and then that'll be the slip fit onto the end of the muffler. Slides in good. Just weld these up. So now this has been purging for a couple of minutes. I'll get started. I like to use number 18, what people call a pint, what people have been calling pint-sized gas lens with the Pyrex cup. Of course, I dropped that and broke it just a few minutes ago. So a number 8 is going to have to do. So I'll do that right now. Yeah, I'll throw my hood on and we can start welding. So got the entire exhaust all welded up. Went pretty good. When I slipped the muffler on, it was hanging out quite a bit. So I made a slice with a die grinder and pulled it in, welded that back together. So now it's at the angle I wanted at, closer to the bike. Now we're gonna head over to the lathe and make some threaded inserts. And we'll cut some notches out, weld those in, and then we'll start working on the hanger. So we'll do that. Threaded inserts. I'm putting these all over the bike and doing these. So yeah, made these. I'll thread them right now and then weld those on top. Go back in the lathe, clean them up, and then yeah, they'll be nice and smooth, and then we'll grind the frame out and weld them in. Okay, so I scalloped out the frame here, used a ball nose carbide burr, and then just went about 3/4 of the way in. And since it's a ball nose, kind of matches the little pieces here, so they'll fit in there nicely. So I'll weld both of them in, and yeah, we'll do that right now. And then I still have to machine the other pieces for the hanger, but we'll start there. Machine these little pieces out of 3/16 stainless, as well as this little bullet here. So that'll go on the back side. I also got a little rubber isolator. I just had some rubber laying around and cut that out. Now I gotta take 1/2 inch stainless tubing, bend it up like I've done this one, and then weld it in both sides. So that'll work pretty good. Got the hanger all made up, so welded the 2 pieces on. They're all bent. They welded on really good. Got my rubber isolator there. Works pretty good. So I think the next thing to do is to drill some holes in these bolts, and then I'll lock wire them, and I'll drill a hole in the hanger here, and then or in the bracket on the muffler, I should say, and then a hole through the bolt, and then we'll lock wire that to there, so they won't be able to go anywhere. But besides that, that's the exhaust done. So that's the exhaust all finished up. I'm pretty happy with it, happy how it came out. Go through where I got all the material from. I got all my mandrel bends from a local speed shop in town. And then the cones and the collector I got from Cone Engineering came super fast, really good. I was super happy with that. And then I have inside the muffler there's 1 3/4 inch perforated stainless tubing that merged together. I got those perforated stainless tubes from a local shop called Ill-Fated Customs. I will put both their websites in the description, Cone Engineering and Ill-Fated. Really cool stuff from both of those guys, and yeah, it all comes pretty quick. So yeah, here's the exhaust. I hope you guys like it, and that's it for this episode. If you like this episode, give it a like and a subscribe, because there's a lot more coming, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.